Welcome to the Kaasch and Dash Unscripted episode 313 with Owen Dashner and Kash. Buddy, Brandon Tauber. We had him in.
I can't believe it.
I was actually hoping that because it was a short podcast.
Short and sweet.
I was really hoping that I was like, maybe we should just keep this podcast going and then just talk about Brandon.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. That was, you have been working on, so Brandon, my business partner, and Wednesday's upcoming episode is my longtime business partner, and Ted has been relentlessly badgering him every time he sees him about getting on the podcast.
For 5 years.
He's been brushing him off forever, and finally Ted nailed him down. And he actually showed up. I was shocked.
Yeah,
and it was a great interview, but like we said, short and sweet. So
I could tell he was a little nervous, but there was so much good stuff, and we didn't even get into it. It was so good that we just skipped the questions in the end to keep the flow going as long as we possibly could.
He's one of the few people that I have gotten to be friends with after getting into business together with, and we kind of built our friendship based on business originally, and just having alignment on a lot of life stuff.
Yeah.
So great dude. Hopefully you guys tune into Wednesday's episode with Brandon because it's really good.
Would you say I fall in that category too?
No, I think we got to, I don't know. What do you think? Because you didn't like me at first. You always said I had resting dick face.
Just the very first time we met.
Okay.
Which was with Brandon.
So I had a bad day.
And then it's funny, your dad asked me this story.
He did?
Yeah,
how we met?
Yeah. And I told him, word for word, I'm like, first time I met him, I really didn't like him. He and I could tell your dad was a little offended.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then he was started instantly sticking up for you.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, I go, Owen's literally one of my best friends, but I go, he goes, so what was it about him? What did he do? He was really inquisitive. This was a 25 minutes.
He was dialing in on that, huh?
Yeah, and he's and he was really sticking up for you. And I told him the
Thanks,
story.
Dad.
And I told him the story, and then we talked.
I don't like bullies.
We talked about it on the pod and stuff, and you've mentioned the pod. You kind of had a moment. I was on a golf course, and it was right at that same time. And I explained that to him, and how you opened up, and then he didn't know you did all the coffees.
Oh yeah.
And then he started getting teary eyed over it.
Oh wow!
About how impressed he was with you and all the things you're doing.
Oh shucks! Thanks, Dad.
We're gonna get Phil on the podcast one day next.
Oh, that would be fun. We'll talk about that. But oh man, I got to tell you about my morning, dude. So
today.
So I told Aiden this before,
it's a Friday.
Before you got here. Yeah, it's a Friday. So how I was saying, I can't sleep in, and as I mentioned, I think last recording, I'm kind of in that softball dad hell right now with scheduling, and we have 22 games over an 11-day stretch, and it probably goes even further than that. That's as far as I looked, but it's just, and the thing about it is they just redid the conference so that every team we play is at least an hour away.
And this is Avery?
This is Liv, my youngest. So
does Avery do any sports?
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
She used to, but she's more into arts and that kind of thing. But anyway, so we get back last night, get home at midnight from this game in Carroll, Iowa, and get to bed at 1, all that. I can't sleep in. I told you this, right? Because my pets just don't even if I have a trouble sleeping, but even if I have the opportunity, my pets always wake me up at the regular time. So I get up. I'm like, all right, I got to get all this stuff ready for the pod. I do all this research. I print out some stuff.
But you used how much of this for today's pod?
Yeah. Well, I printed out exactly. I printed out the docs that I wanted to bring and make notes and all that stuff. And I've got everything all laid out. I print it off. I'm getting ready, get out of the shower, and I'm kind of running late because I said I was going to be here at the normal time, and then stuff got in the way. And I come out of the bathroom, the primary bathroom, and then I walk into our bedroom, and my cat is sitting there he's got that, he's ready to throw up.
Oh, my God.
And he's on the bed.
Yeah.
He's on the bed.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And he's doing that thing that cats do. And I'm like, oh my God, I grab him and toss him on the floor. But then I look, he had already thrown up all over. Hang on, I'm going to pull this picture up. I showed Hayden this. He managed to get all the way up to the top of the bed and threw up on my pillow, our comforter, Jen's weighted blanket that she uses, the sheet, the fitted sheet.
Show that to the camera real quick.
It's soaked all the way through. It is disgusting. Sorry, that one. Anyway, super, super gross. And I'm like, that immediately threw me all off my schedule, right? And I'm like, so I walk out of the house without any of my documents or anything. And my poor wife, I left her to clean up the mess. I'm like, I have no time. Sorry.
My wife was
like, I got it.
My wife will clean up the pet puke. But if the kids puke, it's on me.
It's on you?
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how, like, you know, some people just cannot handle certain things,
Yeah.
like whether it's blood or poop or puke or whatever. I tell you what, parenting is a great boot camp. But I have a neighbor, good friends of ours that live in the same hood as we do. The dad, Steve, he cannot change diapers. Like, he starts to gag. So the entire, you know, they have 2 kids that are now one's a senior and one's in college, but like his wife still never lets him live that down about him being such a wuss that he can't change a dirty diaper.
I used to sing a song to my son called it was called the Blowout King, because every single time Carson pooped, it went straight up his back and almost to his neck, almost to his neck.
Oh my God, we've had some of those too. My youngest was like that.
I was like, oh my gosh, like, when will this end?
Oh man, I have no idea what reminded me of this, but Jen and I went to this. We're both from small towns, right? And her dad was in this. He's a like cattle and horse guy. He's always had cattle and horses, and he would do this parade every year. I don't remember what it was. It was like Memorial Day or something. They would do this kind of like not an honor guard, but something basically where he'd ride in on horseback. And so we go to this, and it's in a really small town like Hancock, Iowa. And we have Jen's SUV, and my youngest, Liv, is like, she's probably, I don't know, maybe 4 months old, something like that. Still a blob, basically. Yeah. Doesn't know how to do anything. But she's sitting up and all that, whatever stage it is where they're starting to sit up and be a little more mobile. And we sit her car carrier, like it's one of those that you can detach and just pick it up with a handle on it. They're great. And we set it on the back of the thing on the back of her tailgate, because we're getting ready to leave and we were just packing up stuff and getting ready to load it in. We don't know this. She starts rocking back and forth, and the whole thing flips over. She lands face down on the ground, like the whole thing flips down, face down.
How terrified.
And here's the thing, though. This was like in the country, right?
Yeah.
So you know how like there's that really long grass, like brome they call it?
Yeah.
They had cut it, but there was still probably like 3 or 4 inches of that stuff, and it's really rigid. It's not like normal grass. So she lands face down on that, and it like stabs her face all over the place. So we felt like parents of the year, of course, getting out of that place. It was just,
but she was strapped in.
Oh yeah, she was strapped in. So, but she just had rocked it because she just wanted out, and we're trying to get out of there. She's crying and throwing a fit, and anyway, and then she had a blowout on the way home.
Of course,
yeah.
the blowouts are the worst.
do not miss those days, man.
So you don't want kids right now.
I'm good. Grandkids eventually, like that would be fun because you can give them back. You know, you just get them for a few hours. It's like rent to own.
Speaking of, my grandparents have the kids right now, and they took them to Dave & Buster's and they're texting me pictures.
Nice, yeah. And it's nice to offload the expense of kids to, like temporarily to somebody else, because the grandparents are going to buy them stuff. They always are irresponsible about that. All the snacks and all the stuff.
Yeah. They're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
What rules? My wife is in Washington D.C. all week, taking 180 8th graders.
Oh man, she's doing that. Okay.
So we did our yearly Memorial Day camping trip. So we took the camper out, went camping for 3 days. 94 degrees.
Oh yeah, that's a little sticky.
We did a night hike.
Okay.
4.5 mile night hike through the woods.
Is everybody on board with this, or do you have to convince?
They love it. Carson might have done one, but they've never really done a night hike.
Okay.
But I tell you what, I felt like, man, I'm like, we've been preparing for that 5K. I'm feeling good. I went through the hike. It went pretty, and it's a lot of ups and downs. It's wooded, right?
Right.
And the next day, my lower back and my legs were in so much pain.
They're like, hey, harsh reminder, dude. You're 46 years old, bro.
I went straight to the masseuse the next day when I got home, and she's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "I cannot walk right now."
Getting old hits the best.
But it was great exercise, great fun. Kids loved it. Ran all the way up to a tower that's like, I don't know how many stories up in the air, you know. And man, it was fun. And then, but you're gonna laugh at this. It was so hot. we wanted to go swimming. Like, oh, we're gonna go to this Mahoney place, go swimming. And I'm like,
is it like a lake?
Mahoney has wave pools and slides, and tons of stuff. But it's always just jam packed, especially Memorial Weekend.
Sure.
I'm like, let's go home to our pool for like 3 hours, go swimming, and then we'll come back. So we left the campsite. It's like a 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
Went home, swimmed, took a nice shower, ate lunch, came back to the campsite. And they're like, Mom would never do this. I'm like, yeah, this is why.
Oh, this was while she's okay.
Yeah, because she's got that. This is like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the sleep schedule. I am so messed up on sleep schedule. Today's the first day I made it to the gym.
Yeah.
All week.
Oh,
it's
not good, bro.
So it's just like. It's my whole entire rhythm's thrown off.
But you were doing hiking and, that kind of stuff. So give you a hall pass.
Makes up a little bit for it.
Yeah. So I do have to tell this one additional story. So last night we were at the softball game, right? Carroll, Iowa. And my daughter's playing on 3 teams. So JV2, JV1, and varsity. And she's in 8th grade, but she gets to she's a pinch runner.
Is she going 8th or going to 9th?
She's going into 9th.
Okay.
Yeah. So in Iowa, you can letter 5 years, or you can play varsity when you're 8th grade.
Wow. Okay.
And it's one of the few states that are like that.
So
it's the matter of fact, Iowa is the only state in the country, to my knowledge, that actually has summer baseball.
So she's a badass.
Yeah. Well. Hang on to that statement for a second.
The athletic side comes from the mom side.
No, it does not. I will tell you that right now. Cheerleading comes from the mom side. So Liv, she hits a double, like laces a ball into the outfield. She's pretty fast, right? So she gets down to second, steals third, and so it's like, all hype about it. And I'm sorry, I'm telling this story like it happened last night. It was actually 2 days ago. But so she's on third, right? Steals third. She's leading off, and the batter smokes a line drive. I mean, it was a frozen rope, and it drilled her right in the shin bone, like right in the middle, like mid leg. And she goes, "What are you showing me here?"
I'm telling you what AI says about.
Oh. Okay.
What's that say? Read it.
No.
Read it.
No, hang on. Let me finish this.
Read that.
Ted, seriously, could you derail a story any more than you are right now? What happened in your mind where you're like, I'm just going to, while he's in the middle of this, get on my laptop and Google something completely different?
This is totally what we were discussing.
Podcast 101, bro. Stay on topic. Good Lord. Anyway, so it was like a cartoon. She went up in the air, flipped around, legs it looked like if you threw a bowling ball at her and she was bowling pins. So she was a hot mess after that. Huge bruise on her leg, limping, crying. The batter that hit the ball is crying because she feels bad. It was just a complete debacle.
The emotions are running.
Yes. Anyway, what were you about to show me here? That's so important.
Children get athletics traits from both parents, though science shows the mother often plays more of a direct role in biological foundation of endurance.
I don't know the evidence would prove otherwise.
I know. My kids are athletic. I don't know where the hell they get it from because both of us don't do anything. But the story, my son just finished up his 7-on-7 football league.
Okay.
Undefeated.
Did you say 7-on-7?
Yeah. It's football where they can only pass.
Okay.
And there's no line.
Got it. Yep.
So we go all the way through the season undefeated, just kicking ass. The team that's in the championship game, we've already beat by like 3 touchdowns plus. Mm-hmm. This is last weekend. Of course, we get our asses whooped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like 40 something to like 14.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the hell? Carson goes out in the third quarter. He had somebody stomped on his knee. His whole knee is purple.
Okay.
And and all these kids are just upset and almost tears coming out of their eyes. And I'm like, why is it that you guys can go all season just kicking ass? And it just happens over and over again. And then it comes to that championship game, and then you guys just...
The gag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is up with
the pressure? I don't know, man. Maybe better competition at the end.
They're overconfident because they beat the team. There was no spark.
Well, I think the thing about that is, though, and I know you know this since you coach, but it's like they got to go through those so that they know how to handle winning and losing better as they go along. You know what I mean?
But every other season, they lost their asses.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the 3rd or 4th year of doing this.
Yeah, I remember when I was playing baseball, our coach would always in college was always like, act like you've been here before, like because people would celebrate after hitting a home run or whatever. And he's like, this is business as usual. Like, this is what you expect out of this. So he like drilled that into us on expectations. So winning and losing, don't get too high, too low. It's a day-to-day thing.
See, when I coach and I see them starting to struggle, I'm immediately a timeout, huddle, and then I'm like straight up pump, like, you know, like playing our techno song when we started a podcast, you know, our 30-minute dance party over there. And, you know, that I'm like, and then I'm getting them hyped up. We're almost like jumping. And then, you know, we're on this huge break. Everybody hears it. And then, I mean, that's my mentality.
I like it. Yeah. So you fall more on the positivity side of the camp rather than corrective behavior, right?
Well, I corrective during the season, but I want to get them pumped.
Yeah.
You know,
I like it.
Practice is corrective. In the game, it's pump, excitement.
Hey, speaking of corrective, I had something. I did a little bit of research the last couple of days
on me.
No, not on you. I already know way more than I want to about you.
Trust me, it goes both ways.
Yeah. So the coffee meetup yesterday that I had, we kind of did this thing where we talked about a couple different things, and one of them being the 3 stages of investor back office evolution. Okay. So meaning you buy a property, maybe a small handful of them, and you don't really know what you're doing yet. Maybe you've read a lot of stuff, did research, but you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. And I want to see if you agree with this. So in my eyes, I think there's 3 stages that you go through. The first being the shoebox stage.
Which is?
You keep all of your receipts in a shoebox. You use maybe a Gmail account. You have basic, you know, maybe you have a spreadsheet like a Google Sheet or something like that.
Fair enough, yeah.
And and everything lives in your head, right? You're remembering who the lease went to, like all the data that you need to know, all that stuff. It's all living in your head.
Yeah, it all sits in Dropbox for me.
Yeah,
it always has.
Well, when you get to about, I'm going to say 5 or so units or properties that you own and manage, stuff starts to really break. Like you forget things, it takes longer, you forget to follow up on stuff, you know, stuff starts to break. Then you get to a point where you get to the duct tape stage.
So I never got there. I was always Airbnbs throughout that stage.
Yeah, yours is a little different. You were more of a hotel operator. But when you get to the duct tape stage, that's when you're like, oh man, I got to fix some of this stuff. So maybe you get QuickBooks, right? Maybe you get something to manage your system better. Maybe you get a property management software, something like that. But none of the systems talk to each other. If you got hit by a bus, your spouse wouldn't know what the hell to do.
Totally.
You can't leave town for 2 weeks because stuff's gonna not happen that you need to happen.
I worry about that right now, like with all the little businesses I'm going.
And the thing is, I feel like in talking with so many people over the years, and you know the weekly meetups we go to and monthly meetups and all that. The investors are in the duct tape stage way too long, where they're basically Band-Aids and, you know, like bubblegum and popsicle sticks. That's how one of the contractors I work with says houses are built sometimes. And that's kind of how your business is arranged. And then you get to a point eventually, I'm not there yet, I don't think, but I think the duct tape stage can last as long as you let it last, where you're not doing things optimizing and efficiently. But I think it's about 20. I think you get to about 20 and you have stuff go off the rails.
Until you bring in a Brandon Tauber in your life.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that. And then you know, eventually if you get to somebody that has kind of the machine, so they have something where they can peace out and go on vacation for a month and it doesn't matter. Somebody can step in, easily pick up right where they left off. They can understand what you're doing and know how to work the business, right?
Do you feel like you could do that?
No, I don't think I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a machine. Part of my problem that I've gotten myself into, and it's a blessing and a curse, is that I have so many different partnerships that all of them are on different systems. All of them use different apps. Not all, and there's some commonalities, obviously, Dropbox or whatever, right? So there's some of that, but different property management companies. I think I have 5 or 6 different property management companies I use. And
that's a lot.
Yeah, and different, you know, all this different software. Yeah. So it's like I was joking with Andrea yesterday, one of my partners, that, you know, because she is the software queen, so she's always like, oh, let's put everything on, you know, Slack and let's do this, and like there's all these softwares, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like I just don't want to. There's so many different things that you can do, and if everybody has a different system that they use, it becomes a nightmare, especially with you're an old guy like me. So we did kind of a rough outline of that, and then to follow on, I thought I'd share a little dash of wisdom.
Yeah.
I could see on your face that you didn't know where I was going with
No,
this.
I knew where you were going, but I didn't. I'm so new to it.
Yeah, I know. We're rebranding. This is a little rebrand we've got going here.
But I love the dash of wisdom.
Okay, so here's the dash of wisdom. So what I am working on is, and so give me some latitude here, because this is a kind of an all-encompassing thing. I've got a lot of notes.
That's half a page.
Yep. So this is you've heard the term before, delegate, automate, eliminate, where it's you basically decide what's involved in your life or business that you could just eliminate altogether, and things are going to continue working just fine.
Okay.
Delegate, what are you doing that somebody else should be doing because it's a low-value task, and your hourly rate that you could pay somebody to do that way exceeds what your value is, right? And then automate is, with AI and a lot of the tools out there, you can basically do manual tasks automatically if you enable software to do it, right? So those are kind of the three things. But I also added document to that because I think that's the precursor to making your life better. So, we had Terry Shanahan on a couple of times on this. By the way, if you haven't listened to his episodes,
they're always some of the highest rated.
Of all of the 300 plus episodes that we've done, I would say Terry probably stands out to me as the top dog when it comes to systems, processes, documentation, like to the point where it's a machine.
The last episode was 208.
208, yeah. And it was so good. He is so good at that stuff. I'm terrible at this, but I want to get better at documenting and then delegating, automating, and eliminating. And here's what I kind of came up with. And now think about this, guys. If you're listening to this episode, you have a lot of stuff that you're doing that is sucking up your time. And as we've talked about over the years, like that's the one resource that you can't make more of, right? So there's money, time, all that stuff. So time is very important and becomes even more so the older you get and the more experience you get and the more businesses and all that. But there's a lot of stuff that takes up time that we don't even think about. And it's just like, I just deal with it. And I'm going to give you some examples. Here's one. Ted, have you ever done this? Have you ever done an audit on how many subscriptions you have to anything? Like,
yes.
Like let's say it's Hulu, YouTube, TV, like any of those things. So that's the streaming services. But there's also software.
I was thinking like re-radio subscribers.
Oh no, like stuff that you're signed up for that's a recurring bill in your life that you no longer use. Gym memberships, like anything like that. No. So they have software.
I feel like I got a handle on that, but no.
Yeah, so they have software, and I wish I would have had my printout with me that had this on there, but there are apps out there that will actually look this up for you to figure out what you're subscribed to, and then you can basically decide, okay, I'm just going to eliminate that, and now you're adding money to your bottom line, right? Yeah. I can tell you're doing some research here.
Yeah, I was looking.
But there's that, and then like screen recording repetitive tasks, checking landlord leave-on agreements. This cost me, I told a story yesterday that I didn't have a leave-on agreement at a property that went vacant during the wintertime. I assumed that my property management company did that, and I lost about $20,000 because pipes burst, it flooded the basement.
That's it, huh?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
So $20,000 by my just laziness or ignorance on it.
That's a normal Friday for you.
That is sadly true. And so what I would encourage people to do is, you don't have to do this on a day-to-day basis, but if you just set a like a standard operating procedure where once a week you're going to go into your business and you're going to document, delegate, automate, or eliminate one thing. That's it. Mm-hmm. And so it could be as simple as you're going to get all of your bills in paperless format. Right? So your utility company bills, the stuff that comes pouring in all the time, like mortgage statements, insurance, all of those things. Get it all paperless. Create a digital file box where like you said, Dropbox, or there's a bunch of other file sharing systems. Save them all in there. Don't keep the paper receipts, right? So things like that to basically move the needle on getting your operations optimized. And that's, I think, a good takeaway from this. And this isn't something I invented, but I really started thinking about this because there's a lot of stuff I could do to streamline things that I just haven't been, including a lot of these little things.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Do as I say, not as I do. Maybe that could be our new segment. But anyway, auto pay on all your bills, like all of those things. And then to take it even a step further.
That's really important in my life.
Yeah. To take it a step further, I don't have this, and we were talking about this yesterday, where per property, so like let's say you have a property, I don't have a file that has all of the information about that particular property and everything you need to know about it. So who the insurance carrier is, how much your premium payment is a month, like when your renewal is, so that you know how to shop it. Like you can start shopping at 60 days ahead of time, when your lease expirations are, all of those things in one easy spot where you can just log in, pull it up, and be like, oh yeah, I need to do that this month. So setting up a tickler file for insurance renewals. And,
you say tickler?
Yeah, tickler file. It's a corporate America thing.
I've never heard of it.
A tickler file is a reminder, basically. Okay. So 60 days out, you need to start engaging with your tenant on a lease renewal, right? You have an insurance policy that's going to come up for renewal in a couple of months. That's the time to shop it, right? So don't wait until the last minute and you're like, oh crap, I just got a notice in my mail that said my insurance policy is expiring and it's going up 50%, right? It happens all the time. So setting up a tickler file that has all that information in it is, I think, really useful for that. And I don't have that. And that just made me realize I need to do this.
After my talk with Megan, I think that most of the stuff you're talking about could be covered under AI.
It could, to an extent. Unfortunately, AI, yes, but there's a big ramp
notifying you of everything you need to do.
Yes. But that also requires input. So you're going to have to input that into something. Yeah. So whether it's your own spreadsheet or you're inputting it into Claude or Chat or whatever it is.
I need to talk to John, my admin.
But don't you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, no, it is. It's a great idea.
And it's an easy lift.
It's hard, though.
But once a week, just set it up for an easy day a week where you got a little bit of time block available, and you can just say, okay, right now I'm going to look at something simple. And I'm gonna reach out to these utility providers, check my landlord agreements, or I'm gonna take this one property and I'm gonna enter all the data about it, and that's it. You're done. And then the next week you do the next property, and the next week you do the next one, and that's it. And it's just it becomes your regular Thursday or Friday or whatever day you're doing it. Right? What do you think?
No, I like it. And it's good to create those systems too, and like, hey, this is what I have to do, because it was just yesterday. I mean, I always tell you that I in the mornings I go ahead and I go to the gym. I sit in the sauna. I write out my to-do list. Well, I didn't go to the gym all week until today, right? So guess what I didn't do all week?
Yeah, your to-do list, and
which
all
means
that.
Nothing got done this week.
Yeah,
and then it was yesterday afternoon. I'm like, and I didn't have anything on my calendar because I usually get all my to-do list items done.
And you feel like a piece of crap.
I was lost.
Yeah,
I sat there and I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm like, I'm going to look at my emails because I had like 4 hours open.
Yeah,
I'm going to go through emails and try to figure out what I needed to do here. I didn't create my to-dos. I had brain fog on creating what to-dos I needed to do, even though I have so much shit I need to do. And, it says that you have to create your own system. Yeah. And my system says I have to get to the gym in the morning so I can put up my list together. Otherwise, my whole day just goes to shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's important. And you got to figure out what your system is, and this is a great idea.
Yeah, so I just, I've been doing this for so long. You would think I'd have this dialed in by now, but mine's just really complicated because of all the different businesses. Yeah, so I don't have my arms around this yet, but I'm now taking steps to just make my life easier, and I'm just trying to do it in bite-sized pieces. How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time?
What company is it that probably consumes the most of your time that you could probably streamline better?
I think the one that occupies most of my time is probably a split between our Branson project and liquid lending.
Branson, I mean, isn't that like done? It's supposed to be done soon.
What you don't see about that is all of the behind the scenes conversations that have to take place in conference calls, Zoom calls with our, we have private equity, we've got pref equity, we've got our management team, we've got the upper layers of the management team, we've got compliance because we're looking at doing subsidized housing and a portion of it. Like it's so much, and then all the trips back and forth, and then the planning. Like, what do we need to put in the workout room that we've got? Where are we going to get the equipment? What about flowers? Should we put out flowers? What about signage? What about this? Like we have to do that. Like there's nobody else.
I hope this thing makes you millions, because you've been talking about this place for 4 years, and I can't imagine.
You can't wait to be done talking about
the amount of time that you put into this. No, not at all. Because I guarantee you that there's other projects that you've been just a different role in, maybe a money guy in, that have not taking this much time.
Yeah, it's definitely know what you're signing up for when you're a general partner in especially a syndication.
Yeah,
like if you're a GP in a syndication, like you have to do everything because like nobody else is coming to the rescue.
With the travel and building furniture and dealing with property management, I mean, you have really shoveled into this, and I know your partners have too. But,
I don't want to make it sound like I'm carrying the entire load. I'm absolutely not.
And I know you haven't, but I'm just saying that versus the other stuff that you've invested in, this seems like a huge drag.
Here's the thing, though. When you look at it this way, so let's say you had 143 single-family houses. Can you imagine what that would be like?
No.
143. Now, let's say you have 143 units under one roof. Property.
Yeah, one insurance policy.
So it's just like having 143 single-family houses, except they're all under one roof, except you only have one loan, one insurance policy, ideally one property manager, et cetera, right? So there's streamlined efficiency that you can get out of having all those units under one roof. That's what makes multifamily so
attractive.
So it's so much more efficient because of those things and the fact that your price per door and your cost can be driven down by efficiencies and one location. Whereas if you had 143 houses, can you imagine you'd have 143 insurance policies?
Yeah, talk to Terry Shanahan about that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my whole like pushback on single family versus multifamily. It's just those things, not having to deal with them is worth a lot of money.
I ran into Terry last week.
Oh, did you?
And he was like, sold a couple more off.
Yeah, he's shedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to hold any of them anymore.
Well, I'll tell you what, he allocated 2 years of his life and grinded his ass off. And then now he is able to make moves that very few people can. So he put in the work and it didn't take him long because he's smart. Now he's able to kind of do some things he wants to do instead of just nose to the grindstone every freaking day.
I need to take some lessons from the people we interview.
I know.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
You're figuring it out, man. We all are. The thing is about it, there's no playbook that we're operating off of. It's like becoming a parent. You have a new kid in your life, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, crap, I read all these books, but that doesn't help me right now because I got to make sure this thing's still alive and like fed and, all that stuff. But you get into a business like that, there's no safety net generally. Nobody's going to come bail you out.
Yeah.
Like, it's on you.
Yeah, and you hope the assets that you have are liquid and that you can fix things when something
that is a real thing
hits the fan. And that's one nice thing about the single family houses that are out there. Man.
Yeah.
My mind's spinning right now, man, because you talk about the week off deal, or month off.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, so this company could run with me not around. This company could run down. This one is 100 depending on me. The car wash, I have an employee. Maybe I could talk her into doing deposits more. And do more, cover it if I was gone. I feel like I could be safe for a week for sure. The REIA, though.
Oh, you're married to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I could probably, if you weren't in golf league, I could probably hit you up.
Yeah, well, right.
Yeah.
You could do that. But you also love it, and you're the figurehead of that group.
I have everything I do is probably in the top 2 favorite things. Mm-hmm. And hopefully you'll start like really producing some cash because I've never taken a paycheck from it. It just pays a few bills.
Yeah. Well, I know you will push back on me, but you also don't charge enough.
Well, we just like literally doubled the payments.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I think it's still low, but look, man, you've done such a great job with that group. You did a 180-degree turnaround on that. Not that it was bad before, but you had different goals for it, and you set it out, and you done stuff.
Different vision.
Your REIA group that you have is special, and that's been widely recognized, especially from the national REIA.
It's the people that make it special, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it starts with you.
Yeah. So I appreciate that, and I totally agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with it, but it takes a lot of work, and my pride is on how many butts are in the seats on every event. I know. I've taken some huge strides in the last. I just hired a marketing company to help with our REIA Mastery event coming up. When this is airing, actually, you're coming up. So we have a storage unit REIA Mastery event. If you're in Omaha area or want to come to Omaha area, we got Fernando Angelucci coming in. Like, we need you there. For instance, sponsoring, want to be there, like, hit us up. This is a great event for $150 for our local members. You can't get a better price on something.
For an all-day workshop on how to basically be a boss in self-storage.
And if you're a realtor, we got approved for 6 credit hours also.
There we go.
And so it's a great event there. But I recently hired a marketing company, and then after we had Jeff on the podcast from REI Print Mail, I'm doing a huge campaign to him. I told you about this, but we dropped 1,700 mail pieces to any cash buyer in Douglas County, Nebraska.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, you have full creative. Tell me
control.
Yep. Tell me what's going to hit the hardest. And they actually did they did these drops. I hope you get one. You're not in Douglas, but
well, my properties are.
But it's like cash buyers in Douglas County, and it's like they designed this full page printout, like packet that's being delivered out with all perforated edges. And then you open up, and then there's 2 tickets to our next 2 events as a guest
that's
pass.
cool. Yeah, I hope I do get one.
So yeah, if you get one of those and you hear,
are you going to charge me if I get it?
Yeah. No, you're a sponsor, man.
That's true. That's true.
So if you get one of those, I'd love to see it in person. So please bring it by. But I'm excited to see. We have an event here in a few days, and I'm excited to see how many of those come up. Can you imagine if we get like hundreds of people showing up with those?
That'd be awesome.
Like standing room only. Like you fill in a room around the edges, or what?
Let's make it happen, people. Get off your butts. Come to the Omaha REIA biannual membership. Yeah, do all this stuff.
Yeah,
come to our Mastery Series.
I'm going to tell you what, there's not a networking group that I've ever seen that brings in the level of speakers that we bring in.
That's true. All right, man. Well, it's fun catching up, dude, as always. What do you think? Should we get out of here?
This could go for another hour.
It could. I don't know, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, and we could bring Aiden in to have some fun with us, too. Yeah, but with that, when we sign us off?
On behalf of Aiden Bear and Ted Kaasch, I'm Owen Dashner. You've been listening to the Kaasch and Dash Show. Unscripted.
Sign off.